All right, guys, another quick video here. This one is all about lab safety. So I've been talking a lot. We do a ton of labs, and maintaining safety is super important to me. So we're going to make sure that we go over some of these procedures. These are very simple. And again, this is really only for those of you who may not have been there during class, okay, for us to go over this. So this is something you'll need to do to listen, something you're going to need to sign off on so that I make sure that you've heard all of the lab safety. And number one, obtaining permission before touching lab materials. Now, you guys are going to come in the room a lot, and there's going to be stuff on the tables. You cannot touch the materials. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. You don't know if it's hot. You don't know if it's sharp. Okay, there's lots of different things that you don't know that if you're coming in and touching stuff, it's just going to mess with a whole bunch of things. It could put you at danger, could put somebody else at danger. We don't need that. So just make sure you're not touching anything without permission. Questions are in the lab? Ask, right? You don't want to just be pouring things into anything else without really being sure that that's what you're supposed to do. So ask anytime that you have a question during lab. Protecting eyes, face, hands during labs. We do that by wearing goggles. We do that by wearing gloves, different things like that, different safety equipment. I have a really rough story about me not wearing goggles during a lab experiment in college. I'll definitely tell this story in class. If you want to hear it, it involves some nitric acid going into my eyes. Not a good situation. I can tell that story a little bit better. I don't want to take the time here on YouTube to do it, but if you want to hear that story, it's a good one. But we're going to make sure, because of that experience that I had, that we really wear that protective equipment. Okay, inserting anything into fire, guys. Don't stick stuff into fire if not unless you're told to. All right. That's just something that we got to be careful of. Loose clothing, like sometimes we show up and we've got some shirts and the sleeves are a little bit bigger, or like something like we got a jacket on, something like that, something to get into the fire. We just got to be careful when we're around fire. Behave appropriately by working at my design lab table. That goes without saying. You guys know where you're expected to be with your groups. Not eat or drink anything in the lab. Again, just to be safe, just to be cautious in case something were to get on that food that then you would go ahead and eat, ingest it. We don't want that. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we take extra safety. Wash my hands after using chemicals. Anytime we use chemicals, I will send you guys to wash your hands. Okay, that's an easy one. We'll make sure that everything is cleaned. Anytime we have a spill, accident, injury, I gotta know, right? So we're down here now in this one. Anytime we have any sort of accident like that, guys, if one that happens all the time, if something falls off the lab table and breaks, right? It's not ideal, but just tell me, right? If it's an accident, no big deal. It happens. We'll probably have a different conversation if somebody's messing around and something happens or something like that. Remember, we talked about respecting the lab materials, but I still got to know, right? I told you I'd say it 1,000 times over the course of the year. I just want you to own it, right? If you did a mistake, if you made a mistake, and if were kind of messing around, something like that, just tell me. Let's fix it. Let's clean it up and make sure that nobody gets hurt after that. I will show you in class. They're pretty easy to find, but the fire extinguisher, the fire blanket, eye wash station, first aid kit, and fire alarm, um, all very easy to find. They're all clearly labeled in the classroom. If you guys see a fire, should be go without saying. Somebody tell me. All right. Somebody tell me if there's a fire in the room. That would be very, very helpful. Okay. And then never running. We know that one. That one's simple. Get this thing signed, guys. A little note to the caregivers, a little area for you to get in contact with me if you need. This is due Tuesday, August 30th. Now that you've gone over the safety guidelines, go ahead and sign it. Get that baby submitted. All right. You guys have a good night. I will see you later.